And it's one of the never done before routines. I would like to invite you to share your final reflection. Imagine someone didn't have time to join this workshop today, this conversation, and they don't have time to listen to the entire recording. What would you like them to take away? Which learning would you like to share with them? So I would suggest to just start with someone and then pass the talking stick to the next.
I just said you had to be there. I'm sorry.
And even, yeah, and even in this conversation, there's so much to be said about everything, right? So I think one of the things that I'm picking up is you don't know what you don't know. There's so much gaps in our knowledge, and just having these conversations is kind of like, oh wow, I'm like, there's so much I don't know that I need to become more aware of. Thank you so much for giving me something to think about.
Interesting. I was going to say sort of variation on that was you don't know what you think you know, right? Like that's partly what I'm pushing into too, is like I can find like this can be very unsettling because even the things you think you're pretty sure about, there's new ways to frame that. So thanks for being willing to create some space to do that today.
I think there's always assumptions. It's helpful to challenge your assumptions and to take time to challenge the ones you didn't realize you needed to challenge. So because you're assuming you're challenging the right assumptions. Everybody's bringing an agenda. There's always an agenda. There's always more than one agenda.
And then for me, I guess is, instead of trying to be neutral, maybe I should articulate my own assumptions and biases. Because maybe no one is really 100% neutral. Maybe 100% neutral doesn't exist.
Sydney, would you like to share?
Yeah, I really like what everyone said, especially Rebecca and Manel's comment about knowing what you know or what you don't really know. So it's really neat to challenge that.
Yeah, for me, it was the open and honest conversation about our assumptions. And I want to reflect on to what extent to voice these assumptions. So not only to review, but also to voice them, to get to an equal understanding of the assumptions that we're bringing into the space. Very, very thought-provoking conversation. Thank you so much, Rebecca, and everyone for joining and contributing. Anna.
Yeah, sorry, I just had an idea. Rebecca, I think what you were talking about that sense that the contracting with the group takes too much time. So I just want to dash on, but then that causes problems later. But the worry that it feels impatient or like too much like rules might be an interesting topic for a session. Like we could try loads of different ways of contracting with the group and having like loads of ground rule practices and try lots of different ways and see which felt different.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, I book you in.
One of the online classes that I haven't run in a long time, but I used to, is called Making Your Good Stuff Better. And that's the format is we take a thing like an opener or like ground rules or like brainstorming, anything. And we go, okay, this is the normal way you would do it. Here's 5 other ways, and it's kind of a fun format. I like that idea of starting with a group thing and then growing it in new ways and learning from one another in that.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to more conversations, especially the uncomfortable conversations. Last week we had one about pricing, which was also very interesting. So thank you for joining. I put the link to our gift giving form in the chat. So please share one gift to yourself and one gift to Rebecca. Only 3 questions. And I wish you a wonderful weekend. And I hope to see you soon.